Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. Check out the hockeybettingpodcast.ca. We got a number of books that have joined up with us and have incredible sign-up offers for you to play hockey with that first deposit. Get on board. Go to the hockeybettingpodcast.ca. Click the link, sign up, and have some fun with us.
You're listening to the Hockey Betting Podcast with your hosts, Brian Blessing in Las Vegas and Cam Stewart in Toronto. This is the Hockey Betting Preview for Tuesday, April 6th, 2021. And now live from Las Vegas, your host of the Hockey Betting Podcast, Brian Blessing.
All right, folks, here we go. The Hockey Betting Podcast. I invite you to check out the website, thehockeybettingpodcast.ca. And there's great offers for you to jump in with introductory sign-up offers at a number of fine establishments. Brian Blessing and Cam Stewart. All right, pal, I'm gonna keep my focus here because it's Masters Week and I am drooling. I'm waiting for Thursday. And the hockey's gonna heat up too. It is a great time of year.
Yeah, my favorite time of the year. I love Masters Week, man. You said it. Some teams separating too, like the North Division now. Calgary needed to take care of business, Brian. These guys are basically toast. Vancouver, they got the COVID variant. Who the hell knows when these guys are playing? This is an absolute disaster. But I think that division has basically righted itself. It looks like it's going to be Toronto, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Montreal. We'll see what Vancouver does when they come back. But they're 8 points behind the Canadians there. But this Central Division's very interesting. Nice race going on between Nashville, Chicago, and Dallas and Columbus. A lot of teams still alive.
Central's interesting. The East, they're jockeying for position. The West actually has become pretty interesting with St. Louis pulling a Thelma and Louise on themselves. And look at your boys, S.J. Sharkey.
Chomp.
Long time ago, man, the Wayback Machine. I'm like, God, I mean, they're not great, but there was just too much talent there in that division for them not to do something. And sure enough, it just speaks volumes to how quickly you can go up and down the ladder in this schedule.
You said it. My only regret is not being on S.J. Sharkey more, and I think I bet on the wrong pony. You know, I was talking about Los Angeles, and they threw up all over themselves. That was a good spot for them to make a move, but instead it was S.J. Sharkey. The veterans are playing better on their team, Brian, and they're getting goaltending again. Jones is actually playing well. They give up a lot of chances, but he's been making saves. So, yeah, these guys are breathing down Arizona's throat, and they got 2 games in hand. All
right, let's dive in. We're going to do, what are we doing here, Pally? We'll do Tuesday and Wednesday. So let's kind of Gatling gun through here. But listen, Buffalo's in New Jersey. Come on now. Jersey's lost 3 in a row. They're a $1.60 favorite. The total on the game is 5.5. I'm opening the browser. I should have had open before we started. I'm just double-checking. It's Ullmark versus Wedgwood. Cam, the Sabres are a punchline, right? But Ullmark is an NHL goalie, and since he's back, they're an NHL team.
I'll tell you one thing. Betting on the Sabres the last few games has been great. We had them against the Rangers, Brian. When you texted me before my birthday, we couldn't believe the line. We're all in on Buffalo. They won in a shoot. Isn't that hilarious? The only shootout.
Hey, we won together.
My God, the guy Buffalo won a shootout. I'm like, yes, and it was for a big price. I needed that badly.
I loved your chances because that's why what was the one game? The game they puked, right? They had the Flyers beat.
Yeah, that game sucked.
But what was sickening was that they lost it overtime because I'll tell you what. He's one of the better goalies in the league, Cam, in the shootout. Ullmark is really good in the shootout.
I agree.
I kind of liked our chances when we got there.
Here's the deal. We're going to move ahead. You can't lay this price with New Jersey. Buffalo plays New Jersey tight. This game, to me, has like a tie game written all over it. I would have made New Jersey $1.35. Buffalo's still not getting respect. This line is a quarter too much. I like the Sabres here. I think I might go back to the well with Buffalo.
Well, they're playing for Granato, okay? It's a breath of fresh air.
I agree. I agree.
We got to move on. But the point is, this is why we're doing this. This is why we love this. How many times last week did we say, are you kidding me? That number is just wrong. I mean, this is clearly somebody's waking up. They look at the standings and go, oh, Buffalo, New Jersey, make New Jersey this. Current form, this number is 40 cents too high.
Brian, we talk about it, and I know you're on the the network with us, a Sports Grid, and our boy Dave Sharapan from the casino used to work at the other side, like Chuck Esposito, your friend. He told us a lot of these hockey guys, before Vegas got a team, that's the thing. They didn't know the sport. They'd post a number, and I'll tell you, it's hard. There's a lot of things going on. Baseball, a new sport has started. Things slip between the cracks, and I think sometimes you can't do everything. So some of these hockey numbers, they're not really giving understand what the Sabres have done the last 3 or 4 games right now. I would have made the Devils, I told you, a quarter, 30 cents. I think we're getting value with Buffalo. Give me the Sabres.
All right, let's go to Pittsburgh and the Rangers. Rangers are minus 25. I
like the Rangers a little bit.
I don't like either one of these teams, Cam. You know what? The total's 6. I think that's a happy hunting ground there. I think it gets to 6, and then we may need the empty netter, but I would lean the over.
Yeah, I lean over too. But, yeah, Pittsburgh's been really loose defensively. You saw the weekend game against Boston there. That was a train wreck. There was no goaltending, no defense. I think the Rangers can score goals as well. I do see a 5-3, 5-4 type of game, Brian. I lean over, and I do like the Rangers to get it done, but I don't love it. But I'm with you on the total.
I'm for a giggle,
giggle away, boy. Giggle away, boy.
For a giggle.
Buffalo and Canisius, giggle away, boy.
That's the old inside joke. Yeah. It's not so inside anymore, is it?
No, it's not. Everyone knows it.
All right. You know what, buddy?
Yes.
Just knowing what we know.
Are you talking about Columbus and T-Bay?
I'm telling you, you know what I would do here? I would put a Tinker Toy little parlay together, a tiny little parlay with something you really like, and just attach Columbus to it. And I'll tell you, they're catching $1.85, $1.90 at home. The total's 5.5. These guys play Tampa Bay tough.
They do. But I'll say this, though, Brian, proceed with caution, but I do agree. I've taken Columbus a couple times against Tampa Bay, and it's been a really good decision. But very gutless performance the last game against Florida. They were in a spot where they needed points. They didn't score a damn goal in that game. They lose 3-0. Columbus has got bigger problems. They show up for a couple, then they play like junk. Tampa Bay, too. You know, you're right, though. Tampa Bay was sleeping against Detroit. Brian, can you believe I bet on Detroit on Sunday there? I couldn't believe the number. We hit the over, too. They pulled the goalie. It couldn't have gone better in that game. I got a plus 310 dog who wins the game 5-1. That's the thing. Tampa Bay and these teams that have clinched are going to take nights off, but they hate Columbus. They hate Columbus, and Columbus doesn't like them. This is a real kind of rivalry that Tampa Bay is a much better team. Hey, if Columbus says, you'll know, Brian, this is a great test moving forward. If Columbus lays an egg like they do against Florida and loses like a 5-1 game or something, they're absolutely toast. If they show a way to keep it close, we could still maybe take them. But this is a bet on or fade team after this result. I think this is very important for the Jackets.
I agree. Let me just throw this at you. That it's ugly. The last game, sickening. Tortorella rallies around when teams are embarrassed or have a horrible ever. But here's Columbus. Yeah, it was awful. They've lost 3 in a row. They win 5 in a row. They're in the playoffs. And you're in the home stretch. They've got what do they got? They've got 16 games left. They're 3 points out of the playoffs.
Yep.
Who the hell needs the game more? So if they were to beat Tampa Bay, then the crap effort against Florida is forgotten. So
I agree.
I'm just saying, in a small parlay,
yes,
just to swing for the fences, put something small together and just throw Columbus on it. It's not one of our plays of the day, but it is not going to shock me in the least if they win the game.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tampa Bay probably will take care of business, but I agree with you. Columbus plays these guys rock solid. Maybe a regulation player, a plus 1.5, if you guys feel more comfortable with Columbus in that situation. I know I would.
Boston and Philadelphia, both teams are right now, but you sit here and look, honestly, I don't like Philadelphia, Cam. I don't like anything about Philadelphia. I think Boston is just top heavy. I would say to you, though, situationally, Boston has 2 in hand on Philly. Philly is 3 points behind them for 4th. This is Philadelphia's season tonight.
Yeah,
it is.
I agree, but I think this is very similar to the other game. I think Boston's still a better team.
I do too.
Halak's got COVID. When's Rask coming back? Is it Vlader? Is it Darth Vlader again?
It's Darth Vader and Hart. I like the over probably more than, but I'm telling you, just when we do the situational handicap, if you look at this, if Philly loses this game and falls 5 behind them, and Boston's got games in hand, they can't dig themselves out of the hole. I honestly, Philadelphia has to look at this tonight, and he's got to say to them, guys, This is our season. Win this game tonight or we're toast on a stick. And the trade deadline's Monday, too. Oh, by the way, Korpisalo's playing for Columbus. Korpisalo's a guy who could be getting moved.
No, I agree with that. Columbus has got two good goalies. They got Korpisalo and Elvis. So one of them's going to be leaving the building. Brian, Willow. Hey, what do we got going on here, man?
Blue Christmas without you.
Oh, Elvis, you're going to make the save. Is he going top blogger, going 5-hole? What are we going to do? I don't know, Brian. We're going to go Boston, Philly. I think I'm going to pass on that game. I think I might lean to your over, Darth. Slater. I don't know. I'll see one thing. Boston, didn't they lose to Philadelphia the last time? Wasn't it like an overtime game or something?
We've lost it. We're doing it. There's a parlay, Darth Vader and Elvis. That I don't know how the hell we got there.
Oh, jeez. Willa.
All right.
May the bets be with you, Brian.
We regroup. Washington and the Islanders. Islanders $1.30. Totals 5.5. You know what?
Revenge spot for Washington after the Islanders dusted them off. These teams have played crazy games this year. A lot of overs too.
Forget this game. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
I think is Washington, and how do you say they're flying under the radar? But is Washington not a sneaky play in the playoffs?
Yes, they are.
To win the whole thing.
Their goaltenders, Vanacek and Luggage, Samsonov have figured it out there. But they've actually been a little bit. Sometimes they're really good, and sometimes they're bad. If you get these guys on the playing the good card, I think Washington's scary as hell. They got grit, they got toughness. Their special teams with Ovechkin, Tom Wilson will kill you. TJ Oshie is one of the more underrated players in the league. I think Washington's scary.
What do you think? How about you got Varlamov going? How about under 5.5? And that's scary.
They always play overs, so this one's going to go under. I'm going to pass on the side.
No. If they always play overs, then why are you running away? If you're on top of that they always play overs, don't run from it.
I don't know though, but eventually things are going to this is the thing. You got to be careful. You don't just blindly bet them, because I think Trotz is going to, the way the Islanders are playing, he's going to have a little chat, say, guys, let's bring back the playoff Islanders, score the first goal, suffocate type of thing. I think it's an interesting spot for Washington, though. They got embarrassed by the Islanders the last game. They might be worth a look as a dog in this game, Brian. What do you think?
Oh, I think either one of these teams is worth a look as a dog whenever.
Yeah, I agree. So the Washington might make the card, but I'm going to pass. We like other things more.
How about this? Is the price telling you? I mean, this is big boy hockey here all of a sudden. Florida, Carolina. Carolina's up to $1.45 on the rise. The total on the game is 6.
I think Mrazek was great in his comeback. Brian, he missed 32 games, and the guy had a shutout. 1-0 win against Dallas. Their offense didn't do anything, but only one goal was there. The line tells you they're baiting you with Florida money here. I like Carolina.
Wait a minute. Now you wrote me in. Well, wait, you wrote me in. If Mrazek looked really good, this is a very, very. It's a big game. I mean, right? I mean, what are we looking at here? Carolina's at home, 3 points behind, with 2 in hand. Yep. Honestly, this is a game that Carolina wins. They're likely gonna, jump to the top of the ladder here.
I still think Carolina's a better team than Florida.
I like under. I like.
Actually, you're telling me under too.
If you're saying Mrazek played well, and this
he had a shutout in his first game back,
and this is a very big game. Let's say they play it like a playoff game and go under the total.
I agree with that. If you can find a 6.5, guys, that hook is huge. Under will be a play, but Carolina is my side. Another. What else?
I'm throwing this to you because you've
Nashville. You've been riding Nashville.
Well, let me give the number. My God, Nashville's $1.60. The total's 5.5. I'm shutting up because
you don't shut up. I've been riding these Nashville
Predators.
Predators.
Playing Detroit a lot this year. You watch these guys. I do.
Sorry. No, what? You got to pick your spots with Detroit. I liked them on Sunday because Tampa Bay didn't care about the game. A Sunday matinee, their heads were in the clouds. As for Nashville, they need to win this game. I am concerned about one thing. Thomas Greiss actually looked good the last game, and I know he can be bad, but these guys are all NHL goaltenders. They get streaky. Look what Saros has done for Nashville. The guy's still on a heater. That's why they're in the situation they are, and they're playing probably the hottest team in the league. Give me Nashville. I'll take them in reg too. They will beat Detroit on the road in this game. I'm thinking 4-1. Probably stays under the number too if you get the 5.5. Barely. I like Nashville.
Here we go. This is like another mini playoff game. Dallas is 15 to 20 cents on the road at Chicago. The total's 5.5. Here we have arrived at the point we told you about 8 weeks ago when Dallas couldn't start their season, blah, blah, that they had 1,000 games in hand. They're nothing to write home about. Chicago's kind of, found its level. And Dallas ain't no great shakes either. But you know what, Cam? They're picking up a point here and there, and 4-3 in their last 10. But again, situationally, they're on the outside looking in. They're 3 behind Chicago, 5 behind the Preds, but they got 3 in hand. So if they win the games in hand and the head-to-head matchups, Dallas is actually the team that's going to make the playoffs. Does it start tonight?
I think it kind of I lean Dallas. Here's the thing about Chicago. They're starting, as you say, Brian, water finds its level. Very disappointing game. The last game they needed against Nashville, they didn't even score a goal in that game. They're a Jekyll and Hyde team. As for Dallas, they can play any type of style. I still think they're overrated, but in this case, I still think they're slightly better than Chicago. If they get any type of goaltending, it's basically a pick 'em. I lean Dallas, but this is a very, very hard game.
All right, Anaheim.
Probably the under too. The under, what is it, 5.5? Like, who's going to score in this game? It's going to be like 2-1 for Dallas, probably.
I know, but then it comes down to you trust the goalie. But whatever.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Anaheim is at San Jose. San Jose is rolling out there. I know, Roy Scheider. Are they worthy of being $1.80 here?
No, they're not. But
here's the thing:
it might be parlay material, right?
Anaheim. Let me just throw this out. This is a goofball week.
Okay.
You got the Vancouver Nightmare. The trade deadline's coming Monday. I'm telling you, Anaheim. They already they got Zegras, and they said, Zegras, we're going to make him a center. So what are we going to do? They send him back to the minors to learn how to play center. So the pack it in and the fire sale's about to begin here. So some of these guys are either playing for jobs or playing to get the hell out of there. I mean, I think Anaheim, by next Monday, I don't know, do they move Getzlaf, like I said, for a chip and then bring him back to, play the last couple of years of his career as a Duck? He's going to finish a Duck. We know that. Do they give him a shot to win a cup? This is one of these things where Anaheim, they're putting what do you call it? The GPS chips on them. They're the ankle bracelets. These guys are looking at each other going, is he still here?
I don't think anybody on the Anaheim roster is safe. They could trade anybody. This team's open for business. That's why the line is where it is. The San Jose Sharks are on fire. You talk about it. When Kane rolls, Brian, you can't bet against these guys. They're feeling it. They could smell it. The veterans are engaged again. This is parlay material, definitely. It's not even over $2. San Jose should win this game. If Ryan Miller's in net, I'm going to smash San Jose in the over.
There you go. He's our buddy, Cam Stewart. When the word smash comes out.
Yeah, it means it's a big one. Yep.
All right.
Sometimes, hey, smashing's good. It was good. It was good on Sunday, except for the golf.
Oh my God!
Can you believe in the golf? I had Charlie Hoffman and Matt Wallace and Spieth wins. But just hey, on my birthday too. Thanks, guys. That was great. That was fun. Cameron Tringale threw up all over himself. Love you, bud.
Literally, what happened there? That we've had that happen to us.
God, it makes me
both.
Sick. You couldn't even hedge because he had to lead the whole damn time.
You were the meat and the turd sandwich, but the problem was you were counting on Charlie Hoffman. Charlie Hoffman was like cha-ching, cha-ching.
He actually played pretty good, but anyway, what bothers me about speed. Anyway, this is a hockey show, but I've never seen a guy with more magic act. He can't even every lie is good. I wouldn't be surprised if the marshal helped them out. The ball was probably in the water. They said, take the camera off. But hey, Jordan, we found your ball. Hey, that's how he won the British Open. Ask Matt Kuchar.
Remember that?
Kuchar was sitting there with drool in his mouth. That was ridiculous. Actually, you know what? Everyone loves Jordan Spieth. I don't. What do we got next? Next day.
Next day, I throw my hands up with Edmonton. I don't know what the hell I'm getting from these guys on a nightly basis.
Yep.
They're laying $1.80 against Ottawa.
They own Ottawa this year. Ottawa can't. I don't know what it is. Edmonton beats these guys by 6 goals. I don't think it's going to happen this time, but I love Ottawa in certain spots. Well, like when they play Toronto or Montreal, but
because the basketball game was on. Well, maybe you paid closer attention. The championship game was on, and the Golden Knights game was on, and I had to jump in to do post game interviews. So I'm really focused on the basketball and the Golden Knights game. I watched the first 3 minutes of the Ottawa-Winnipeg game. I said they're going to score 45 goals in this game. Like Ottawa, it was like a highway to the goalie for Winnipeg. But then at the end of the night, the Jets win the game 4-3. The one thing you get with the one thing you get with the Senators, I will say this, they never quit.
I agree with that. I like other teams have like packed it in or gutless. The Ottawa Senators are far from it. All the young guys try every night, and I respect that. But Edmonton they have too much speed for this team. It's a problem. Edmonton in parlays looks good to me. Ottawa just gets smoked every time they play them. Probably the over too, but it's 6.5. What else do we got?
Montreal and Toronto. What are we doing? What are we doing with the Canadians here? I mean,
here's the thing. I've been on Toronto. I was actually smart. This team, like sometimes I bet against my team because I'm a jerk. But then again, Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment has never cut me a check, and I pay $20 a beer when I go to the games. I still think they owe me money. Here's the thing. Toronto, they beat Calgary back-to-back games. You go home feeling good about yourself against a Montreal team that's going to be a little bit desperate. I'd say, guys, buyer beware. Toronto's hot. Campbell's hot. But this could be a spot where Montreal, I'll tell you one thing, when they get together with Toronto, these games are razor thin and tight. If I think it's probably going to go to overtime or a shootout, I think you have to look at Montreal getting 25, 30 cents.
All right. Yeah, I hear you. Vegas and St. Louis, this St. Louis thing is a train wreck. Now,
so what's going to happen? Is Vegas just going to murder these guys again?
I'm going to come back with, all these Vegas St. Louis games. Vegas scores like 4 or 5 against them every game, right?
I know.
Every game, but... All right, here's the but. I'm going from memory here. Vegas is $1.50 on the road. The last time they were in St. Louis, Vegas beat them 5-4, and then the second game, Vegas beat them 5-1. You're going from Leonard, who, by the way, let me tell you something, Cam. Leonard is starting to look really good. I mean, really good. He was fighting the puck. He was giving up rebounds. He is, and so the Vegas soap opera thing is about to kick in here, where Fleury stood on his head. Now Leonard's looking good. They know long-term they need Leonard. They've saddled their wagons to Leonard. The soap opera's about to kick in down the road, but it's going to be Fleury's night. And Fleury knows this. I think you go with the over back to the under angle here.
I'll tell you one thing. The St. Louis Blues have looked like they've checked out.
Unbelievable. How can these
still
guys...
in this thing? Hey, man, this is what happened, Brian. I'm going to tell you, and you know this too. Hockey's different. Like, getting to the Stanley Cup and winning, over time, it's kind of like that guy that's just been beat up, like an old fighter. All those extra games at a playoff intensity, there's something wrong with St. Louis. It's not just that. Let's also remember, they're out Parayko. This is one of the biggest losses ever, and Petrangelo's on Vegas. Their defense is horrible. They're not getting any goaltending, and their scoring now is just... it's not there. The St. Louis Blues are just not the team they were.
Vegas
material.
Vegas couldn't get a shot to the net. Minnesota blocked 25 shots against them. The game before. Yeah. All of a sudden, they went and played St. Louis. Vegas looked like this big, mean, nasty team. Everything got to the net. Guys were in front of the goalie. I mean, it's all attitude.
St. Louis is a horrible
they're
team
not
right
defending.
Now. You can't bet them, Brian. You said it. Like, they're not doing the little things, and that's when you know a hockey player's checked out. Vegas are only 33 cents in St. Louis. Vegas in the under. I found my dog in the next game. I'm coming back to these guys. They lost in heartbreaking fashion, Brian, to Colorado. Minnesota should have won that game. Colorado's just that damn good. You're going to give me 55, 60 cents with Minnesota? I'm going to tell you, I'm going wild. This is the game they get revenge on Colorado. I'm there. I'm taking Minnesota. That price is too good for me to ignore. They should have beat Colorado. That was a meltdown. They're coming back. They're coming back hard, man. They can do this thing. I know Colorado had a lead in the game. Minnesota though had chances. Like, don't let the box score fool you. They played pretty, like, they were loose defensively, but they had their opportunities to score. 5-4 game. What do? Come back to the under? I don't know.
Well, I love you like a brother. You know that. And there was a game or two earlier in the year where you were drooling and you had the frothy, you were barking and drooling. Okay. Yeah. Let me just tell you something. All right. Well, I'm going back. January 30th, Minnesota lost 5-1.
I know.
Hold on. They beat Colorado 4-3 on January 31st. They beat them 6-2. Okay. But then the last couple lost 5-1, lost 6-0. Lost last night 5-4. Minnesota owns Vegas. Colorado's kind of
owns them for the most part.
But this is a team that doesn't quit under Everson. I'm just saying I wouldn't, get on board, but don't drop
Small play.
Don't drop the anvil is all I'm saying.
I'm dropping no anvils with the Minnesota Wild Colorado game. No, I lean to the dog. It might be a good spot, but the final game, I'm going to tell you something, Brian. The LA Kings they've quit. I don't know what happened to the team. They were
Bernstein.
Horse. They're horrible. They lost 5-2 again. Like I'm all over Arizona in this spot.
Thank God. You know what? Thank God we're doing this podcast today. Honestly, God, I would have forgotten just because you know how Cammy, we got 39. As soon as I hang up here, I'm doing something else. I know you're off to do something.
I know.
And because we're talking about the Kings, and I just gonna bring up Dennis Bernstein. I'm like, oh my God, thank God. Because we're doing this, I remembered Dennis called me, and I'm doing a hit with him with Steve Coolius on Sirius today.
Hey, Brian, it's Steve Coolius. The only thing I love more, I tell you, my wife's hot, but there's one thing I love more. Hockey! Steve Coolius.
The funny thing is, I swear to you, work with him. I swear to you, if Dennis wouldn't send me a reminder text, I bet you I would have forgotten because I'm going, so I get whatever. But the point was, Dennis and I were talking before the game last night. And he goes, Arizona and LA, loser goes home, has to leave the city. Well, the Kings lost.
I think it's loser leaves town match. I can't bet on the Kings right now. They had a great opportunity against San Jose. They were horrible. I don't care who's in net for them. I don't care about anything with this team. That's pathetic. LA, you had a really good chance to be a story this year, and all of a sudden it's just like this is what the Kings were supposed to do at the start of the year. Give me the Coyotes. They're feeling it.
All right, there you go. We got you covered for Tuesday. The days are running together. Tuesday and Wednesday. Tomorrow night, we're going to do a bunch of stuff. Get you ready for the end of the week because believe me, I'm going to, by Sunday, I'm going to look like Tom Hanks talking to the volleyball.
Yep.
Because it's like I just sit there and stare.
Yeah, we do this for
TV with the Masters.
You're going to say, hello, friends. That's all. It's going to be on a loop. Anyway, I'm with you, man. I'm going to have more Masters bets. You want to talk about anvils? You just see my portfolio. I can't close the briefcase. I got so many bets. Anyway.
Give me 20 seconds. Save me a phone call, and it's bonus listening, maybe. I kind of like Reed, and I think there are bomb plays out there. I've got matchups.
No, I'm going to go too.
I got a bomb or Kokrak, but go ahead.
I like Kokrak too, but you know what I'm going to go with? Lee Westwood. Guy always plays well at Augusta.
I know.
He's 50-1. I got to put a couple shekels on him. Anyway, here's the deal, Brian. I never thought about this. Tomorrow night, we're literally going to be doing shows from 8 o'clock in the morning till midnight. I got my show. We got a table. It's your Wednesday night, buddy. Get the coffee maker brewing, man. You better get some strong roast because we're going to be banging off shows, baby.
No,
John Bangs lady or something.
By the way, it didn't pan out.
Yes.
In the fall.
What?
That I think the Shambo's in this knee deep for the long run here.
I agree too. I don't want to bet that guy. I know you like him. I'm not a big fan.
No, I'm what I'm saying to you is
he might win. I know.
That 13 Cam. He can hit three wood over the trees.
Exactly.
Because if it's driver, it's in Race Creek.
Are we doing a golf podcast now?
Yes.
Anyway, we'll give you golf picks too. I if I were to bet one guy in the tournament, if you had the guy who comes to my house with a gun and he points it, I'd go Justin Thomas. Here's my pick.
Here's my last thing on this. I'm a stupid app. I'm going to hit the wrong password for a fourth time and get locked out, so I'm stopping because I'm not concentrating.
No, yes.
I want to find out what the projected winning score is going to be. Dustin Johnson went 20 under par. Believe me, they were furious about that. Not at him, but it was the fall, and it was different.
It's too easy.
What they're really pissed off about is that the Shambo said it was a par 67 for him.
Yeah.
So let me tell you something. The green jacket people, they're like, aliens. They're walking around with their little green jacket. The green jacket people, they are going to get even. Sunday, you'll have the traditional pin placements. Cam, they are going to slick these greens up. They are going to be like kitchen floors, and they're going to be pin placements that are so gnarly in the first couple of days of this tournament. They don't want anybody shooting 20 under par.
Oh, I
they
agree.
are getting revenge.
And you know what? Here's another thing, Augusta. Just grow at the rough a little bit. Reward people for hitting the ball straight.
They won't.
It just, God, it pisses me off.
I know, but the course's defense mechanism is the pin placements.
I know.
And I'm telling you, bud, you watch. They are going to make them pay for what happened last fall.
I couldn't agree more. So score under, whatever it is, we're going to go under.
I think the winning score, here's what I'll say. I think the winning score.
Don't you have an interview to do?
I got to go. I can't help myself. I'm with you. I'll say the winning score is 11 under par. That's what I'm telling you. I think they're going to make it that hard.
Ooh, I like that, Brian. Nice. Yeah, I'm going to throw that one in my portfolio.
There you go. That portfolio that will not close. End this.
End it.
Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. Hey, we hope you like what you're hearing. And if you do, hit the subscribe button and give us a review, give us a rating. Most importantly, enjoy the hockey and keep coming back to the Hockey Betting Podcast.
The handicapping and sports odds information contained on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm the wagering regulations in your jurisdiction, as they vary from state to state, province to province, and country to country. Using this information to contravene any law or statute is prohibited. The podcast is not associated with, nor is it endorsed by any professional or collegiate league, association, or team. This podcast does not target and is not intended for an audience under the age of 18. If you think that you have a gambling addiction, stop this podcast now and please seek help.
Gambling and betting on sports is a form of entertainment and should be about having a good time. But when done excessively, it may negatively affect other areas of a person's life, such as their physical and mental health, school or work performance, finances, and or interpersonal relationships. At the Hockey Betting Podcast, we're concerned about the addiction that gambling may cause, and for this reason, we encourage everyone to practice responsible gambling, an approach to gambling that helps you ensure that it remains an enjoyable activity. Here are the main principles of responsible gambling. Don't think of gambling as a way to make money. Always gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Set limits and stick to them. Never chase losses. Don't gamble when you're depressed or upset, and create a healthy balance. Always be aware of how much time you spend gambling or thinking about gambling. And do not allow gambling to cause you to miss out on time with family and friends or time spent on other activities you enjoy. By following these guidelines, gambling can be a good time and great entertainment. If you feel at any time that your gambling is taking away from important areas of your life, is causing you stress or depression, or is leading to financial losses that are beyond your control, please reach out for help. Learn more at responsiblegambling.org.